Hi everyone, Mingalava. Yes, I got questions from brother Alex, and I want to clarify his questions, and it is too much to explain it, so I prefer to record and share with you here. So if you have time, I hope you will listen to these explanations carefully, as they will help clear up any confusion. So his question asking about my illustration on understanding knowing versus and knowing in Abhidhamma. It is round view and without round view from 8 Lobha-mūla citta, right? So you go and see the illustration in case 1 and case 2. He asks the first two cases, citta not associated from round view or not. So if I give a short answer, yes, it will be yes. But let me clarify again what my original intention was behind case number 1 and 2. Because some of you are confused about conventional law and punishment. You may say that someone who commits a crime, knowing the law, may get more severe punishment than someone who genuinely doesn't know it. So I made those two cases simply to show what's the reason. So here you see case 1 and 2. Knowing simply means knowing or not knowing the country's law, social law, society law. It has nothing to do with spiritual wrong view or right view. So, because the person knows the law, the conventional law, and chooses to break it anyway, they are disrespecting the law, which is why worldly courts punish them more. At this stage, we are not looking at it from a spiritual or karmic viewpoint yet. The person is not actively contemplating or acting upon philosophical denial of karma. So if we still want to analyze it through Abhidhamma for case 1 and case 2, anyway, we can say that these cittas are associated from round view. It means diṭṭhigata-vippayutta. So you see, the greed, lobha, is present as the root, and delusion, moha, also present as an underlying and wholesome root, but an explicit dogmatic round view is not active in that mind. You see, when she takes the flower out of greed, when she took it, she wasn't thinking karma doesn't exist or stealing is good thing. She isn't thinking about that philosophical wrong view, right? And case 2 also, she knows this conventional law, not thinking about the karmic law. So we can say the mind, both the mind is unwholesome because greed and delusions are driving it, but it is not associated with a round view, philosophical round doctrine, or at least we are not discussing that in these cases, right? I hope you understand. But short answer, yes, it is not associated with round view. But you must understand that my original intention, okay? And then another question is that 12 akusala citta has moha as root. Being so, am I correct to say that if someone has right view, then such akusala citta should not arise? Yes, all 12 akusala cittas have moha as a root. Even though Lobha-mūla cittas are classified as only 2 cittas, delusion moha usually leads to the arising of greed and hatred as well. That's why all the 12 akusala citta have moha as root. And your question that the someone has right view, then such akusala citta shall not arise. I need to explain this. You must remember that only a person who has reached a very high stage of liberation, like Ariya, those people have a fully right view. Yeah. So for example, Sotapanna, the person, he will completely eliminate certain akusala cittas. So a Sotapanna will never commit an act of killing again, even if their own life is in extreme danger. So there are actually different levels of right view, samadhi. And moha also operates at different degrees, and we will study this level in detail in later chapters. So we cannot say for ordinary people have a right view. Ordinary people have a right view, like me and you. We haven't not reached to the Sotapanna stage. We have right view, but we still arise akusala citta, right? So that you should understand. So can someone with right view still commit unwholesome acts? Yes, like us, absolutely. For an ordinary person, simply knowing intellectually that something is bad does not automatically mean the mind is strong enough to resist temptation or anger. Yeah, so practicing according to the right view is not so easy, Intellectual knowledge is one thing, but actually putting it into practice is very, very difficult. For example, we understand and know, fully understanding that taking this path will lead to danger, or maybe eating this food will cause trouble, yet we fail to avoid it and do it anyway. So following through with higher wisdom and insight is even more challenging. So, and also ordinary people's people's fate, the putuchana fate, saddha, later we will study in mental factors. The ordinary people's faith, Saddha, in the Dhamma is not firm at all. Because we have a underlying tendency, anusaya. Those have not yet been eradicated. Greed, hatred, and delusion can still arise due to our old habits and also incomplete purification. So we understand right view, and we clearly understand that anger is harmful. Yet, anger still arises in us when the supporting conditions are present. For example, someone block our car or drive very slowly in front of our car, we will get angry, right? Anger arises. So I use anger as an example because it is very obvious to observe. So in that exact microsecond of anger, our mind is already very clouded with moha, and our understanding of right view becomes inactive already, temporarily inactive. Even though intellectually we know right view. So mindfulness is very important. The moment we catch ourselves, mindful awareness returns, we reflect. That's why in my slide I say preceding mind, succeeding mind. So when we reflect, and right view can function again. So your question, another one, it is interesting to note that the 12 akusala citta are either associated with wrong view or not associated from wrong view, and there is no mention of right view. Please remember, the absence of anger does not automatically mean the presence of loving kindness. Likewise, the absence of wrong view does not automatically mean that right view is always present and always active, or that we always follow it, right? So the main reason the Abhidhamma highlights the states without wrong view in Lobha-mūla citta is to show that when you have some understanding of right view, you may at least hesitate before doing something bad. Even you still fall short and commit an unwholesome deed because of weak self-control, because of overwhelm and your greediness, and you cannot control and you did it, but you still kind of hesitation, so that demerit akusala kamma is less severe than if you did it with completely wrong view. So regarding about my friends in the restaurant, yes, they do not hold a philosophical wrong view about karma. They conceptually believe in the law of karma, but why they cannot avoid to kill the animals? Why do they still choose to kill animals? This is how most ordinary people behave because of pressure or many other reasons. You see, someone in authority pressures them. Their fear of losing their job or their greediness overpowers their understanding of right view. So they ignore what they know and choose to do unwholesome karma. At that exact moment, they decided to kill. Their mind is completely clouded by moha, drive to dosa and lobha. So only the the Sotapanna, Tathagami, Anagami, and Arahant, they are very firm in their right view. For Putujana, like ordinary people like us, our saddha is not firm enough. So if a person truly understands how serious karma is, they will clearly see that killing a living being brings far greater spiritual suffering than losing a job, right? And if the person with firm and unshakable right view, like a Sotapanna, would never choose to kill. They would simply leave the job. Later, we can study in details. We have a kind of Sula Sotapan also. So if you are not real Sotapanna yet, Sula Sotapanna is a kind of Sula means small. So that kind of person also, they may simply leave the job. So you see, according to Theravada Abhidhamma, the citta arise and pass away from moment to moment. We are not one fixed and changing mind, So a person may know that killing is wrong, and that unwholesome actions bring me suffering. They understand. But one strong greediness or fear or anger arises, and akusala citta can take over and lead that person to do something unwholesome. So I think I repeat it so many times that the mind is very mysterious. So please always remember this. This is why I purposely included those photos of colorful parts in my slides, to remind us that consciousness is constantly changing and very complex, and then those are the mind's mysterious, and then making the karma. So that karma, the parts, the colorful, it's resultant of karma. That's what I'm trying to say. So I hope you better clear the concept now. So please take some time to reflect on this. We will discuss it more in class in later chapters also. So please don't worry, you will understand more and more. I hope I make it clear for this confusion. So thank you so much, and have a nice day.